Hi everyone. I wanted to say congratulations on completing part 1. I've just finished putting some feedback in your journal so you can look there. But congratulations, you did it, you made it through, and I want to thank you for your participation throughout the last 2 weeks. I know it's been challenging on various levels and that some of you have experienced technical issues, some challenging work situations, personal issues, and so I really appreciate you hanging in throughout all that. As you go forward into part 2, after our week break here, I encourage you to reach out to Rebecca if you need additional support. I will be stepping back to let Rebecca step forward into facilitation, but I will also be checking the course on occasion. She will be your first line of support and will reach out to me as needed. So let me just tell you again, thanks for your participation. A couple things I wanted to say before we wrap up. And one is that in this course, I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of feedback in terms of what you might normally do through grading and assessment. So my feedback comes in the way that I participate in discussions by perhaps reframing a question, reframing a perspective. I also, in this particular cohort, gave feedback only in the journals. And there my feedback was not so much from an assessment angle, but more from how can I affirm what you're thinking, how can I maybe offer some additional guidance, how might I fill in some support for you. So I wasn't grading per se, but wanting to give you, feedback on your thoughts. Other times, and in other cohorts, I have done feedback generally this way. In the first week, I might comment in each person's gradebook on the discussion posting or on each blog in terms of in the gradebook itself. In this case, I didn't feel I need to do that because you all jumped in and got in there and did really nice postings for each other. Sometimes I need people to say a little bit more, or sometimes they may not realize that their tone might be coming across in a certain way. So that's why I do some individual feedbacks. The other thing I sometimes do that I could have done this time and again didn't feel I needed to is sometimes I will do lots of individual feedback the first week in the discussion area, the blog area, and the journal. And then in the second week, because of small groups, I might do the same feedback for the whole group. So that is, I'm telling you this so you have a couple different strategies when you think about how you want to enter into doing feedback in your online classroom. Some of you have already noted that as a group gets bigger, giving feedback in a discussion can get to be a pretty big task pretty quickly. And so Rebecca and I are here to give you strategies for how to tackle that. For example, the first week, because we were getting to know each other, I wanted to be in there a lot, and that's how I supported you, as well as, facilitated that conversation, which was, in a way, giving some guidance and feedback. I wouldn't be able to do that every week in a semester-long or even an 8-week course. That just gets to be too much. And it gets to be too much for the students, too. I mean, as I mentioned, it can be inhibiting. So I encourage you to sit down and think through what is going to be manageable for you for feedback, and then set that out for your students. It's good to let them know what to expect up front. So, for example, you might recall that the first week I said I would be in the course a lot, and the second week I said I was not going to be in your discussions quite so much. I think that's important to set because online, if you're active a lot and then you're not, it feels very empty to students. It feels like they're just talking to air. So it's good to let them know if you're going to pull back a little bit that that's what you're doing, but that you're also available as needed. So I hope that makes sense. I am going to also send you, in addition to the screencast, I'm going to send you an online resource that I like to use, and that is Michelle Pacansky-Brock's website. She has devoted her teaching practice, in addition to where she teaches at the Cal State Channel Islands campus, she has devoted her practice to humanizing online learning. So she has a really nice website that has voice-read tips, that has tips for how to write a syllabus that's engaging, tips for using universal design for learning. It's a good jumping off point. Her style doesn't necessarily meet everybody's expectations, but I think she has really, all I can think of is to say she's really kind of plumbed the depths of how to make social presence come forward. And that's something I picked up on many of your postings, is that engaging with your students, having students feel connected, having students feel connected to you, having students know that you're there instead of just saying you're there, but that they know you're present to them. That is something she's devoted a lot of time and effort into. She's got good video tips, all sorts of things, from the big conceptual ideas to the practical tips that you need when you facilitate. So good luck. I always feel like I'm waving goodbye and sending you on the next leg of your field trip. So I'm getting you from one school bus to the next. So good luck, and please reach out to me, and I look forward to connecting with you all at the end of the course. Take care.